Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. It is Trader Cobb here on the 4th of September, looking at Bitcoin right now. And there's a lot of talk out there at the moment. Bitcoin, obviously, if we just jump up to a higher time frame and look at the weekly, obviously it's been on an absolute tear since its last pullback. People called that a crash. Strangely enough, it's just a pullback, as you saw, back into these moving averages that I like to talk about. It's done it before, and it remains in a very strong trend. Pullback in here, buying opportunity. Pullback in here, moved again. Pullback in again, moved again. With it being quite overextended, like it had been the last big, phenomenal run, it wouldn't be of any surprise at all to see it pull back into these levels here. So looking at this time frame on the weekly and going back to the daily, I want to start to have a look at what would be happening or where we may pull back to and what the catalyst for these pullbacks may actually be. Now, of course, there are some areas within cryptocurrency that they're majorly crowd and hype driven. Okay, now Bitcoin's probably the most stable of all of the cryptos out there, just simply because it is the largest. It has the largest market cap. And of course, there'll be all sorts of people running for the rafters and freaking out if Bitcoin does have that pullback, but not me. Even if I see my positions come off, and no doubt they will. If we do see Bitcoin come back, what am I going to do? Nothing. I'm not going to unload my positions right now. I'm quite comfortable with riding through different market momentum. That's how I trade. That's how I invest. As a trader, I'll be looking to try and profit from the coming off of the markets, and as an investor, I'll be looking to try and buy the dips. Right now, personally, for me though, from the investment point of view, here are some of the things I'm looking for to see if I believe we'll go back further or not. Realistically, there's a lot dependent on this candle or the candles coming over the next day or so, depending on if we stay within the range of this candle. So basically, we saw this old level of resistance running through here, test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4. I did a video about this level. It broke up quite nicely. Got just within a whisker of 5,000. Sell orders came in and drove it down a bit. I actually saw this candle yesterday and thought, wow, that's quite damn bullish. There's a rejection of this low, so the first test that we had of that old resistance did become support immediately, and it presented itself in the form of this candle here, which is quite bullish. Now, if we were to see this continue to break up through 5,000, we'd need to see the high of this candle break to the upside and continue to push on. And for me, the high of if this candle was to be broken to the upside, that would signal to me that we probably would see 5,000 and beyond in the next drive up. The same thing can be said about where we're sitting right now, right on that support. Will we break down and close below this support? We very well may do. And could that be the catalyst for a bigger weekly time frame pullback? It very well could be. What am I looking for? First things first, this high to this high, definite, clear, obvious divergence there on our MACD, meaning the price has broken to new highs, but the indicator here that the MACD has not. So that does tell me there could be a bigger picture pullback. Now, if I look at this and just sort of throw in a Fibonacci line from this low to this high, which is how you draw your fibs, a pullback to around the 4,200, a round number in between the 50% and the 61.8%. The 50% isn't actually a Fibonacci number at all. It's just 50% of the move. Okay, and that's why often it pulls back to that level. But I actually believe that if we do see it pull back, I think that with the divergence, with the size of this run, there's a very real possibility for a bigger move, a bigger pullback based off of this weekly. So where's it going to pull back to? I've been doing a bit of analysis for quite some time here, working out where the good buy zones are. Now, I'm just going to draw it in with the new high taken into account. And you can see here, our 61.8% fib pulls us back right bang on 3,000. 3,000 happens to be the old highs of that last run. 3,000 happens to also be a round number, therefore psychological significance in there as well. It is also right in that nice buy zone. Now, will it come back to 3,000? That is the, what is the market cap? $68 billion question. Will it? Won't it? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. But if we do start to see some significant selling in Bitcoin, then 3,000 would be a very good area to be looking for it to pull back to on a deeper pullback. And it kind of needs to. For this trend to remain healthy, for it to remain not so edgy and iffy, because when we're getting up to 5,000, another round number, hence why it pulled back. Look, Bitcoin works well to round numbers. Here's one here, 3,000, we got to there, just pulled back. 5,000, we just pulled back. It works well to these psychological barriers. 1,000, we saw it over here as well. It was resistance, then support, and round numbers work. So I'll pull back to 3,000. I know it's a long way to go. Don't get me wrong, it may not happen, but that's the sort of area I'm looking back on. So short term though, it's this daily time frame. I want to see we're going to break down, we're going to break up. So for the near term, I'm keeping a very close eye on what that candle actually does. Are we going to print and close below? Are we going to break the low? What's going to happen? It's this old level of resistance that is becoming support that either will hold us up or it will be, in my view, the catalyst for some further selling. A big deep pullback to 3,000 is definitely not out of the ordinary. As we see big moves up, we can see big moves down, but that's my stance on Bitcoin right now. Thought I'd put that out there before anything too crazy happens. A bit of an analysis there on the bigger picture of Bitcoin. Take it easy, guys.